Hello, San Francisco, and welcome once again to the Angelic Troublemakers. I'm your host, Alan Jones, and on today's program, San Francisco, or Heartless San Francisco, where is your heart? I'm bringing you this program today based on uh, an issue that I find to be so disturbing and connected to my fight to stop the Warriors from moving to San Francisco. I know the stadium or arena is 75–80% complete, but the city of San Francisco has showed itself to be so heartless, and I'm going to take up that issue. Well, folks, it's going to start with this article. This is an article where it says, "Why would Giants welcome Raiders to Oracle Park?" Now, I'm sure you all know that AT&T Park, where the Giants play baseball and won 3 championships under that name, they changed their name to Oracle Park. However, the situation with the Oakland Raiders and their dispute with the city of Oakland, owner Mark Davis copped an attitude and decided he didn't want to play the last year before they go to Las Vegas in Oakland. So he is looking for a new stadium for 1 year before the Vegas stadium is available. And he was in negotiation with San Francisco. Now, this article on the screen is dated February 5th, 2019. The sports journalist, Ann Killian. And again, the title, "Why Would Giants Welcome Raiders to Oracle Park?" If you find that article and read it, you will think Ann Killian is racist against Oakland. That was my read on it. And so I'm saying that she came up with a whole bunch of nothing in this article to say why San Francisco should not open its stadium or welcome the Raiders fans to enjoy one last season in the Bay Area. Now, you might want to say that the Raiders owner, Mark Davis, is the issue here. Well, I think that the man is a scoundrel for how he's treating the fans who have been so loyal to the Raiders, both here and when they went down to LA. And some of them have, I don't agree with it, but some of them have vowed to be faithful with them even when they go to Vegas. But the fact that Mark Davis basically said if he's sued by the city of Oakland, he's not going to play the last year before he goes to Vegas officially. He's not going to play the last year in Oakland. So whether it was a bluff or not, he's trying to make sure that it's not a bluff. Well, Oakland filed suit. I don't think they'll win, but he's trying to, stick to his guns and looking for another place to play. Time is running out. And with the jostling back and forth, this story is quite interesting. But the hypocrisy and racism that I see from San Francisco City Hall is beyond reprehensible. The issue has the Examiner saying San Francisco doing whatever it can to block Raiders from playing at Oracle Park. This article is also dated February 5th, and I highly recommend that you check it out. And if you'll notice that they even got London Breed to make a public statement saying she thinks that the Raiders should stay or should play in Oakland. Well, obviously she's not following the events. How in the world is London Breed, mayor of San Francisco, going to say they should play in Oakland when she doesn't know the spat that's going on there? Doesn't know anything about the lawsuit. And no press, media bothered to ask. She was interviewed by KTVU, Fox 2 in Oakland. They lobbed feathers her way. And so she made this little old statement that they should stay in there and gave some ridiculous reasons why they should not come over here to illustrate her point. Well, my first question would have been to Mayor Breed, who I voted for and still believe she was the best candidate. Mayor Breed, do you know what the dispute between Oakland City and the Raiders is all about? Because I just don't think that she knows what's going on. Regardless of whether it's a legitimate beef or childish beef, you should at least have some understanding of what's going on over there before you just slam the door in the fans' face, not the owner who's worth probably $500 million. So my issue with the city of San Francisco and its politicians, one politician, Aaron Peskin, Board of Supervisors, Aaron Peskin said, we are done ripping off Oakland. Well, where did that come from? Nobody asked him. No follow-up to ask him. He was referencing the Warrior issue. But here's the deal. San Francisco had no problem in breaking all the rules and using some of the most ridiculous language and helping the Warriors relocate to San Francisco, stealing from all of the fans who love the Warriors' home in Oakland, and then he's going to say, well, we're tired, we're done stealing or ripping off Oakland. Well, weren't you worried about that beforehand? Now, he was not a supervisor at the time, that's another issue. But he did have a say-so, and it was less than honorable. And so for him to make such a statement like that, please. Then there's another supervisor, Hillary Ronen. Supervisor Hillary Ronen, she said, San Francisco is our sister city, and we shouldn't be doing this to our sister city, helping out Mark Davis. Well, you're not helping Mark Davis. You're helping the fans of Oakland say goodbye to their team because of a spat in Oakland. What's wrong with being a little neighborly and letting them in? Well, if you're going to call Oakland your sister city, why, Supervisor Hillary Ronen, did you vote against a measure where part of the measure said San Franciscans are going to take a stand against anyone trying to walk out on a public debt? Excuse me, any professional sports team trying to walk out on a public debt. What am I saying here, people? I'm saying it was a excuse from this supervisor, just like it was an excuse from the other supervisor, Aaron Peskin, and just like it was an excuse from the mayor of San Francisco. These three individuals gave all of these excuses not to help the Raiders. Why? When the same Oakland community, they opened their arms and said, oh, come on in for the Warriors. And now you're going to slam the door in their face? No. Now, I would like you to bear with me because I have another story that I have to move to. And it's about this gentleman. Hold on. His name is Peter McGowan. Peter McGowan died recently. Who is Peter McGowan? He was once the owner of the San Francisco Giants. But in looking up his life as the owner of the Giants, we need to get a little background. Peter McGowan built that baseball stadium after he and his group bought the San Francisco Giants, preventing them from moving to Florida. And so his name is all over it. But why did he step in and help save the Giants from leaving to Florida? Because he used to be in New York. And he was in New York when the New York baseball Giants bolted New York for San Francisco. And he was heartbroken that his team left the city. So he was sensitive to the fact that people, fans, love their teams, and it's heart-wrenching when owners just decide, for whatever reason, or, you know, the grass is greener aspect, or the money's greener, up and move to a new city. Well, Peter McGowan, he said, I'm not going through this again. And he saw an opportunity to bring a group together, purchase the Giants, kept them here, and built this stadium. Now, isn't it ironic that this stadium is here because somebody stepped in and did not want to see the fans lose out? And now San Francisco is saying, no, you can't use our stadium. Well, I sent a message to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. And I'm going to read the entire thing that I sent to the Board of Supervisors. Please bear with me. It goes like this. If I were to write a song about how San Francisco City Hall is treating its neighbor, Oakland, it would start, I left my heart in Heartless San Francisco. San Francisco City Hall orchestrated a theft, if you will, of the Golden State Warriors' move to San Francisco from their longtime home in Oakland, California. A business deal that needed no excuse suddenly had one. That excuse, they were here first. Next paragraph. No one in the media cared to ask why the team left San Francisco in the first place. Answer: San Francisco did not want to support the team, even when the San Francisco Warriors reached the finals in 1966. Oakland Raider fans are feeling what it's like to live next door to rich neighbors who boast of their wealth but can't be bothered if you only want to borrow a cup of sugar. The sugar here is San Francisco Giants Stadium, Oracle Park. San Francisco City Hall, through a gay conniption, that's a phrase I invented, which means a hysterical fit, at the very thought of being a good neighbor and welcoming Raiders fans in the living room filled with such opulence, meaning Oracle Park in San Francisco. Simply put, a world-class city helps its neighbors. It does not help itself to its neighbors' jewels. San Francisco is not interested in helping its neighbors, Oakland. It's only interested in taking from Oakland. A world-class city performing such a classless and un-San Franciscan act on its neighbor would be condemned if San Franciscans had a heart. Rather than sympathize with Oakland Raiders sports fans' plight by letting them enjoy one last Bay Area season of Raiders football, elected San Francisco officials exposed a niggardly spirit in saying no with no shame. Now, if you don't know what the word niggardly means, it means stingy. The late Peter McGowan assembled a group and bought the San Francisco Giants, preventing the team from moving to Florida. He then went on to work to build one of the jewels of Major League Baseball, now called Oracle Park. Now that he is no longer with us, we don't need to ask how a sports fan feels when they are about to lose their favorite team. Peter McGowan died on January 27th, 2019 in San Francisco. And I hope he did not get to see any of this side of San Francisco. If he did, he left his heart in heartless San Francisco. And I just hope that he did not experience in the late stages of cancer that he suffered from the ugliness of San Francisco politicians who stole from their neighbor and then decided, hey, we don't have to help them in their time of need. These excuses are not hurting the owner of the team as much as it is the fans. But I have to end by bringing up some biblical scriptures that I think are appropriate here. One such scripture, Matthew 7, verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. That is the do unto others scripture. Another scripture. And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Luke said the same thing that Matthew said. Now, then there's Mark 21, verse 31. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Meaning the these is love God and then your neighbor. Those are the two greatest commandments. 1 John 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God, and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can we say he loved God whom he hath not seen? These scriptures, I say to you, I learned by going to church and reading the Bible, and I'm not perfect, but I try my best to live, based on the common sense that is in these scriptures. Now, when I say that I try my best, I have to say that, hey, it is my personal opinion that if you're going to read the Bible, you should read it with common sense. And common sense says that God does not want me to adapt the customs, but the wisdom that is in the Bible. And the scriptures that I've read, and there's others, they're basically on how to treat your fellow man. People don't understand this, but the word neighbor, basically someone who needs help. It's not the person who lives next door to you, as described in the scriptures. If you recall the story of the Good Samaritan, you've heard the term a lot. Jesus was asked by someone, who is thy neighbor? Then the story that Jesus made up, it was a parable. He tells the story of the Good Samaritan, where one doctor seen a person bloodied and battered, and instead of coming to offer him aid, he walked on the other side of the street. Then a priest did the same thing. But then a man from a place called Samaria came and ministered aid to this person. Now the thing is if you read the scripture, you'll find out the people from Samaria really didn't have anything to do with the town. Forget the name, slips my tongue right now, where this incident that Jesus made up happened. But it was to illustrate, even if you're in enemy territory and somebody needs help, help them out. That was the description that Jesus gave. The story of the Good Samaritan was the description of when somebody asks, what's your neighbor? Who's your neighbor? Now, if you want to get technical and say, well, the Raider fans aren't all bloody and beat up, well, all right, if you want to be that technical, it's the same difference. It's the same thing. It is helping someone in need of help. Now, when I say helping somebody is the definition of neighbor, true. Doesn't it make sense that if you, San Francisco, are going to be a neighbor, keeping in mind San Francisco $10 billion a year tourism industry versus Oakland's $800 million a year tourism industry, we don't need to take from our neighbor. As I said, a world-class city helps its neighbors. But San Francisco, and I don't know how this happened, it has turned into a heartless city. It's a shame. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed not only as a person who believes in the Bible and is trying to remind people this is not how you treat people, but I'm embarrassed for the fact I've been telling this any and everywhere I go, and people don't care. That's sad. I'm embarrassed because of the fact of the matter is it is scary. God says he wants us to treat one another like we want to be treated. And when we don't, we're asking for the wrath of God. Now, is God going to strike San Francisco down with a bolt of lightning? I doubt it. But I am saying that a loving God does have a, shall we say, terrible side. Meaning, God, he will only put up with so much. And I think that it is incumbent on us to wake up and to realize that how we treat our fellow man. Just think as a sports fan, how we claim these different athletes have God-given talent. Well, if these athletes have God-given talent, he did it for our enjoyment, that we can enjoy these athletes at their best. Makes sense to me. But then, when cities decide that they want to be having issues with other cities, governments, owners of corporations and stuff like that, in this case, professional sports, it's the fans who are the real losers. And I'm saying that I'm trying my best to get a point across to the leadership of San Francisco. This is not right. This is not how we should treat our neighbors. We wouldn't want it done to us this way. And may I add, when the city of San Francisco was losing the San Francisco 49ers to Santa Clara, San Francisco had another gay conniption. They had a fit. And because it was a business deal, there was nothing that they could do. Well, if that was the issue, why would we then do the same to someone else if we didn't like it done to us? And to add on top of that, to have the understanding that the Raiders fans are losing out and we're not willing to help them, that's too much for me. So until next time.